blah 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 blah. Both event decks and clash packs have been discontinued, and currently there have been no announcements about what, if anything, will be replacing them. But Wizards of the Coast is always reevaluating, changing the products that they offer with sets, so we will see what the future holds. Over the last 2+ years that I've been making video reviews, I've found some of the event decks and clash packs to be lacking in quality and contents, and some to be good buys. One of the biggest problems I felt in assessing whether or not an event deck or a clash pack was worth it is that they often seem to have this scattershot of goals. I've said many times that when you try and make something for everyone, you can run the risk of making something for no one. So when you say, okay, we need to create a product for $24.99 or whatever that does all of the following. Is something of interest to new players? Is something of interest to returning players? Experienced players? Casual players? Competitive players? For collectors, possibly with alternate art cards? Contains needed reprints? Is upgradable, but also playable at Friday Night Magic? Tells a story? Embodies a theme? Flavor? Doesn't stop players from buying boosters and drafting? Is fun? Is competitive? Has a cardboard deck box that doesn't fit sleeved cards? Gets players excited about the new set they are already excited about. In other words, these products have been trying to do too much for too many people. As a professor of English, I am constantly stressing that the most important part of an essay is the thesis. The thesis says what the point of that essay is. It states clearly and fully its goals for reader and writer alike. You can have errors in other parts of your essays, and these are of course the sort of problems that will cause you to lose points. But if you have major errors in your thesis, well, that can negatively affect the entire essay, sometimes even dooming it from the start. If Wizards of the Coast wants to release a product like event decks and clash packs again, then it needs to have a clear thesis. What do they want this product to do? Clearly and concisely, what is this product's goal? Can this thesis be expressed as a singular statement, or do you need a long, indirect, rambling paragraph in order to try and say what it is you are trying to do? In my opinion, the thesis of such a product should be to provide a deck that can be played at Friday Night Magic right out of the box. End statement. Stop. Everything else that this product does or should be able to do is for the sole purpose of that thesis. If I don't have a deck, I can purchase this product, sit down, and play. Never mind if I am a new player or an old player. We're talking about offering a product that someone who wants to play Magic but cannot can now purchase in order to do so. I do not believe this is an insurmountable task. In fact, Wizards already offers such a product, has offered it now for years, and it has successfully accomplished this very goal, albeit for a different format. That's right, I'm talking about the pre-constructed decks for Commander. This is what we need, only for Standard, this right here. If I do not have a Commander deck, I can buy one of these for $30, $35, open it up, and sit down to play Commander with anyone. It's not the most powerful Commander deck in the world, but I'll still have a fair shot of putting up a good fight, maybe even winning, and thus it accomplishes the goal of allowing someone without a deck to buy this product and then have a deck that they can sit down and play with. If you can create for $35 a 100-card deck capable of this, then surely you can do this for Standard as well. But it means you have to put players first. That's the motto that needs to be said at Wizards of the Coast. I truly believe they care deeply about this game and its players, but that there's all this other stuff floating around that clouds up their vision, that creates that multi-headed beast. So Wizards needs to print this out on a giant banner and hang it from their walls. Put players first. Do not talk about or worry about the secondary market in developing this product. Do not stress about vendors or sales or stores or how many mythics are included or what the value of those cards add up to. No. Your goal is to design a deck for players, a deck that lets your customer play the game. That's the goal. Now, I am not suggesting they just take a top deck and straight out package it for sale for $24.99. No, but I am saying that modeling this product off an established, successful deck within the format, looking at what is working and then asking, how can we make a budget version of this which will put up a fight at Friday Night Magic without necessarily containing a playset of Gideons and fetch lands in order to do so? Accomplishing this goal could have wide-reaching benefits. First and foremost, it allows people who want to play the game but cannot play the game to be able to play the game. Ha! Which, as I've said, should be its central thesis. But I also imagine many of the current problems plaguing Standard would be resolved. It would create a back door where people, regardless of their personal wealth, would still be able to sit down and enjoy and play Standard. None of this Friday Night Magic decks need to cost $400, $600 nonsense. Having these decks available would likely lower the financial ceiling for those Standard decks too, because it would require reprinting cards of actual use in Standard, thus lowering their prices. Sticking a Gideon or Jace in one of these decks isn't going to tank either of the cards' value any more than their appearing in a dual deck would, but it will bring them down to much more reasonable levels and allow for better access for all players. When you set as your primary goal meeting the needs of your community, then that community thrives. Either Wizards of the Coast needs to say, you know what? You guys are just going to have to draft, buy booster packs, trade for singles, and that's how you put a deck together for Friday Night Magic. Or it is going to need to print pre-constructed decks that actually work, which will mean including cards that are probably expensive in Standard at the time these pre-constructed decks are released. So that's the question. Is the motto players first or secondary markets first? Is the thesis we want everyone to be able to play this game? Or is the thesis that we want to ensure vendors, collectors, and investors in these cards to not ever take noticeable losses? What's the goal? If the answer is the players, and the answer should be the players, then it will mean printing these products with those money cards, with at least some of those chase rares and expensive mythics. If you can create a highly successful, profitable, very profitable, and overwhelmingly liked product like this for Commander, then surely you can do the same for Standard. If you examine that potential product, think about it, and decide, you know what, we can't do it for Standard. If it is not a feasible task, then maybe you need to re-examine just what Standard is and who it's for. But that's just me winding on and on as usual. What about you? Are you sad that event decks and clash packs have been discontinued? Would you like to see them return in some form, or would you like to see something else entirely, or nothing at all? Let me know in the comments below. And I hope very much that this video has been of some interest to you. There's someone you like, but they don't like you back.
Murder them.
You have left your pencil at home, and you need to borrow one from a classmate.
Zombify him. The zombie will just give me the pencil.
Because
he's a zombie.